Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second. Checking my audio. Okay. I was looking at some videos recently and the audio is shit. Anyway, oh my god, sound effect. Yeah, Aylin. Bloop. How you doing, Aylin? Thank you for the redeem. What sound effect would you like? And I know what you're thinking. Is it literally the clip of you saying bloop? I have it. Do not think it does not exist. I would have to increase the volume of it 1,000 times, but I have it. I may ruin the integrity of the file, audio file, but I can't do that. That reminds me, didn't someone else have a redeem like recently? And I was like, man, I'll get around to doing that, and then I didn't do it. Does anyone remember? I'm so sorry, guys. I wish you guys saw that! I just had my 2 top orbs just fall off my desk. House. He's not here, so it doesn't count. I mean, I would just still do it for him. I just can't remember what he wanted. I would still honor the agreement, the trade that has been done. I don't. Okay. Didn't he have the milk? Oh, he does have the milk. You're right. It's not him. It was someone else. I wonder who it was. Orbo. But he ain't here. It's about the honoring the agreement. Then whoopst. That was somebody. I swear there was somebody. I'm not crazy, right? Like, someone I didn't anticipate to redeem it, and it was kind of like, do this. And I was like, what? It could have been... I mean, Con's never actually redeemed it, though, right? Well, it did, but you could just ask in the Discord. Nah. It's... That ruins the mystery and the mystique of it. Could have been abs, though. Nah, that's weak. Hi, Lily. He was the last one I remember. Don't remember. Okay, I will remember to do that. Aylin. Really proving that hard right now. I'll write it down. What the fuck? Oh my god. So my notepad, I have a notepad and it fell behind my like monitor and I haven't bothered to grab it back out. There's another one behind there too, crazy. Okay. What's this say on it? Oh. Oh, okay, I know what that is. Okay. I actually had like to have random questions that I could easily ask or research, but I don't because I like to just randomly come across the answer or just randomly remember it. I mean, isn't that just living life with a bit more spice? I actually have a question for you, Lily-chan. Okay, I have it written. It's leaning on the frog, okay? It's leaning on frog. I promise I might not forget. Yes, I'm available. That was not the question, but I like the eagerness. I like... Fuck! Here I am about to be like, hey, I just recently I finally got around to watching the John Oliver episode on Hungry. Do you have anything to like add on or say, hey, he was wrong about this or something like that? And instead you're like, yes, I'm ready to fucking Baldur's Gate. I mean, what? Oh, I'm sorry, Lily. I know, it's way lamer, okay? I mean, hey, you know, we've got Baldur's Gate. We should Baldur's Gate every day of our lives, obviously. Me personally, I just wait for the answer to appear in my head or hit me. Yeah. No, you're good. I was like, oh, 50-50. It's gonna be John Oliver or Baldur's Gate, and I took my chances. Wait, really? You knew? How did you know? Oh my god. It's almost like she can read my mind because we're in love. Yep. That's so funny. I took my chances. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, anyway, yeah guys, I just finished watching the John Oliver episode, which talks about the Hungarian elections. So I was interested in furthering my knowledge a bit further, or not, you know, you don't have to say anything here, of course, if you're not comfortable. She's a Noah for real. It's just because we've known each other for a long time at this point, right? Like, it's kind of weird thinking like I've known Lily now for like 4 years. I'm out of focus. That's how 4. There we go. All right, so let me remember some stuff from it. 4.5 years, yes. Oh my god, 4.5? When did that happen? Oh my god. That's totally cute. Mm-hmm. It's cute knowing you. And we're gonna get through Baldur's Gate, right? I'm so determined. Like, if I was able to book a week off and you and I just 24 hours of intense video gaming and lovemaking and video gaming for Baldur's Gate would be great, okay? I'm just saying, it would be fantastic. Anyway. Game. What are we even talking about anymore? Yes, it's a dream. I just want to play Baldur's Gate. I need work to go away for a little. I say that I just had 6 days off. I have to admit, working yesterday was like really nice. And like tomorrow's my co-worker's final day. Guys, I've written like a whole little letter. I've written a whole little letter for her. I think I ruined the DPI on my thing. Fucking what's happening with my DPI? Anyway. I've written a whole little letter for her, but I'm like, I don't know if it's perfect or not, so I'm literally just gonna, I'm literally just gonna have it up on my other screen. Can I like, yeah, get rid of that. And I'm gonna stare at it ever so often to think, man, do I need to add anything? Also, I need to fix my fucking DPI. What's happening with my DPI? Who is she? Okay. Hi. Let's start again. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome back for two more The Great Ace Attorney games. We are going through chapter 1 at the moment. Okay, we're gonna continue with this. All right, guys. I promise. Like, we will. Okay, see, this is the thing. I'm torn between double downing and try to complete this game as quickly as possible, which probably will not happen because I yak too much. Too much yakking. Words. Or I could just finish at like the end of chapter 1, we just finish and we go on to Mass Effect 3, okay? I'm determined. We're going into Mass Effect 3 next, guys. I feel like the decision has been made. I feel like, you know, people have shown interest. I'm at least semi kind of like, you know, I feel like I almost need to catch myself up on the information, the details of it. But I'm like, I'm pretty like, we should, yeah, just lock in, rip it off like a band-aid. Wait. Are you talking about Mass Effect 3 or are we talking about Ace Attorney? Because honestly, probably both, right? Or guys, we could play Sonic Frontiers. Just saying, both. That's really encouraging to hear. Just be like, just finish it, just do it. I mean, honestly, it kind of feels that way a little bit, just because it's like the most recent game out of both of the things, and it's like, just finish it, then you don't have to ever worry about it again. Like, do you remember Miles Edgeworth Investigations? That was a good time. Politics. So first of all, we mentioned the election heavily favored Orban in the past, but I don't think he emphasized just how much. In the elections by constitution, let's see, aka geographical areas, aka heavy gerrymandering shit, the government won 52% of the votes in 2022, while the opposition won 37, and the government got 87 seats while the opposition got 19. It's insanely rigged. That is crazy. Okay. I love that you have, like, it's like you went and got the statistics, and that's really sexy. Okay, don't. Always get your, guys, if you want to get someone into bed with you, literally just pull out, like, a data sheet, okay? Nothing sexier. That's how you know I'm ace, okay? I did. Yeah! Okay, I like this. I love this, okay? This is the information I like. This is what I like to hear, okay? I will open the game. Okay. God, I don't know what I've done to my DPI. Okay. I missed the last line, but that's fine. Okay, so, to briefly explain to people what the fuck's going on. This is like 6 months later from the end of the game that we just played, the first one. Ryutaro, this lad, is Susato-san. She was the judicial assistant, and now she went back home to Japan, and now our tutorial for game 2 is back in Japan again, going against Aochi again, because it wouldn't be Ace Attorney without him cropping up in some sort of weeds. I say that he's not an inherently bad guy either, like, he's fine. Anyway, so Susato cannot defend, she wants to defend her place in court, but she has to pretend to be a male in order to do it. Okay. Where are we at? New game? Yes, new game. We are, do you remember the woman who did the crime in chapter 1 of the first game? Of course you do! So she is now the one, so she was in, she continued to be in Japan, and they were going to send her back to Britain, but the week before she was supposed to leave, or like the day before she was supposed to leave, she died, okay? And, of course, our poor, Susato's son's childhood friend has been the one accused of the crime. And Susato is now defending them in court. That's all you need to know. Swan Hat Poisoner Lady. I was asleep for the first part. You slept through the whole first chapter? That's kind of impressive. She had a swan hat and she had like ascended. It was very weird. Do I bring out the video? It was the 24th-ish. Okay, it was before the 24th, guys.
Y'all are gonna look.
Remember when there was that video I did?
Consulted at.
Yeah, this lady. Look, it's her hugging Adara because she's the best lady in the world. Okay, yeah. So Swan Lady, she's bad. Her name's Giselle Brett. She's dead now. Cool. Anyway, I'm just gonna. At Yume University, after the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact. My father, with Professor Makotoba. Yeah, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about 2 former students who'd studied in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press would never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snapshot, scribble stories, and supple my privacy. Scupper? Scupper? Not supple. Scupper? My privacy? Crazy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it all at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much. You practically threw the paper at me. He's very excited. He's doing a good job. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course. Why would you do that? She's committed a crime. Like, kick her out. I'm just saying. Anyway. As one big ass hat. Correct. Secondly, it was kind of happening as he was covering it, so it's understandable he didn't mention it, but I wanted to add that Hungary for years have been accused of being a spy for Russia inside the European Union, and it was basically confirmed just a week or two ago with leaked audios between the Hungarian foreign minister and the Russian counterpart, which is also insane. Oh, that's what that meant. Okay, I think I saw like a title of it, or maybe you said something, I don't know, like something said something about it. I guess I didn't understand like the ramifications of what that meant. Now I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He did show the footage of Orban getting slapped by the then European president, so props to him. Love that footage. Dude, that was amazing. Adara and I were watching it, we're like, how did he get away with that? Like, just full on, just, you know, goes for the hand, dictator. It didn't look like it was a very hard slap, but like, bro kept smiling, like, full props, you know? Yeah, no, it's a huge deal. Okay. Yeah, nah, everything's fine. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her. That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Saturn Tosanaga. Thereby, the entire party departed cordially from the seaside, it seems. It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Bro's still sick, but fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. You've got a little bit. Oh my, Inspector, you? Well, you do have something on your face now. Ah, how unsightly, I do apologize. It's one of my favorite footages to show to people. I'm pretty sure there was a dubstep made out of it too. If you find that, send it to me. Does that mean you went to the beach too, Father? No, unfortunately I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, I meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. But if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret. What was that dude in the background doing? We're gonna find out that guy in the background did the crime because he wanted to, like, kill her for some reason. Because he follows Saseki-san wherever he goes. Placing my bets now. Hi, Kirby. Hope you're doing well. Some of these characters are so goofy. It's so good. That's the good thing about Ace Attorney across the board. Like, there are genuinely amazing characters out there. And it's so much fun, like, doing the voices myself and stuff like that. Like, I'm having a fun time. I say that when I get to, like, the last, like, hour of stream, I'm, like, sitting there parched, and I'm like, please, let this end. But I really enjoy doing the voices. I'm gonna drink water now. Okay, I have. I also don't remember if he mentioned that the leader of the teaser party is called Peter Magyar, which literally transport to Peter Hungarian. What? Did he change his name? Or is that just his name? He just made that name. Was legit about to redeem hydrate. I read your mind. Free hydrate. Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. Nope, just his name. That's really suspicious though. Imagine if I went up and they were like, hi, I am Hannah Australian. You should vote for me in the upcoming Australian elections because I am Australian, just like you and you. And as Australians, we should stand by Australians. Okay. Did I do it right? Magyar can be a family name here. No, it's just his name. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it then. Okay, I retract my, yeah. It's not that suspicious here. There are some people with last name like Toff, which is an old way to say Slovakian Horvath, which means Croatian, example, etc., etc., which is an old way to say Slovakian, and Horvath, which means Croatian. That's weird. You know what's really cool about that? Sorry, not cool, but I'm just thinking of a game, a book I read where they literally have Toff as the name of a character, and I was like, huh, there you go. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret I am. Okay. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on special surveillance assignment in this disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly. Really? I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she stabbed the victim multiple times. Oh, but she wasn't stabbed multiple times. It was a singular stab, wasn't it? Show me that autopsy report. Only a single wound was identified. Ha ha ha, fucker. Okay. Now, if you recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use? It was damning evidence. What have you there, Consul? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer. What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more. Ah, goodness me. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand. That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the... Something flash over here? What was that? I don't know. I'm seeing things. Maybe something was loading. Random fun fact, Farkas means wolf in Hungarian. Nice. But also fuck ass. What? Also, Toff can be short for Christopher. Really? Really? Not Chris? I swear everyone goes by Chris. I've never seen anyone go by Toff. That's nutty. I love that. Something similar is that Toth is the Greek god who is the god of wisdom, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to be Toth, what's this? Nice. Also in the Greek alphabets, Toth is written out as, oh whoa. I think I've seen that before. Overall, I was actually impressed with how well he covered all the major stuff. I would go into specifics, explore party politics he didn't go into, but it doesn't really matter all that much here. Yeah, I never seen Toff before either, except in Avatar. Does that mean, oh my god, does that mean Toff in Avatar's real name is Christopher? It's all coming together. The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. RM. Remember me. I don't know if that's true. Do you know how many people have RM as an initial? Whatever. Hell yeah, it does, canon. Everyone goes by Chris, so they didn't want to be Chris. They want to be actually be able to be identified. Fair. No. They're so funny. About event will be admitted immediately as critical evidence. So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and a damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I fear. You mean admit someone as evidence? I don't understand. The prosecutor outed you 9 months ago. And none of this man's poise. Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination. Yeah! Naruhodo-san. I love you, Susato. Yeah, that means, oh yes, me. There's another Naruhodo in my courtroom. Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom. Kaz and Ryotaro, pull yourself together, please. Alright, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witness testimony to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna guess my place now. I'm gonna place my bets now that we're gonna find out later. Like later in this story, it's going to have Sasato play as a person. I'm sorry, guys. Placing my bets that Sasato is going to play a lawyer in a later case within the game. Okay, there we go. We got there. And also, there's nerds who like Avatar that might have influenced it. Toph is the third largest Hungarian family name, apparently. Damn. Maybe they're trying to tell you something. Hey, Balvorn.
Hold it.
Sorry, I was trying to read that quickly and then I was like, it's my guiding principle to always give a perfect testimony. And she's like, well, I think, well, your guiding principle to carry out, should be your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. Oh, get wrecked, Hosonaga. Bro, you killed him. Yeah, for good reason. You will refrain from mocking the witness. So good. Alright. Apparently used to just mean people, but the word became incorporated into Hungarian after the Hungarian tribes settled, conquered lands, in the 9th century, and it was used to refer to various Slavic people. In the late 18th century, it would remain referred to Slovakians. Nice. Cool. Anyway, side tangent aside. Very interesting. God, this was a long-ass thing. Yes, I know what to do. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, game. Just because I pressed someone right at the end doesn't mean you should make me go through all of this. So this definitely says single deep stab wound from behind pierced a lung and resulting a fatal hemorrhage. Dang, that's dedication.
Objection!
With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at the bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, counsel?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me. What, where, when, how?
What is this guy doing in the back, though? He's got paint on him, by the way. Sus.
Not you, Saseki-san. The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
And me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What? Switching between those two voices is insane, can I just say? God, struggling. This is good struggling. To go from, oh my god, I don't understand what's happening, to,
well, I think that everything will be a-okay.
It's hard. Get to the point, please, counsel. Oh, she is a little bug.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only.
Oh,
In other words, the Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed. And Saseki-san, me, you claim to have seen Membami in the throes of stabbing the victim. Yes, I did, even wildly. But both of you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood in the knife that you saw the defendant holding. Yes, and? It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stab hadn't already occurred.
So saying that she was probably taking it out of the wound.
Oh, so true.
Then what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency, there's only one logical conclusion. What Saseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body. That can't be.
Rose got no ass. What? Oh yeah, for some reason Orban said you can make fish soup from fish, but you cannot make fish from fish soup. As this folk wisdom thing, I don't think I've ever heard it in my life though. I have no idea where it came from. Time to Google it. Time to search the internet. Oh, not pouring it into your ear? Nah, that's Hans' thing. That's exclusively how I drink Sprite, thank you. Whenever I have Sprite, pour it in my ear. Okay, right on in, goes right through, okay. Helps clear everything up, okay. No questions. Excellent work, Sasato. You exploded at him with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically. Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. Half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show. You were right, there were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who had only half a head of hair. Slander, my head is quite adequately dressed. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference. What? Why not? Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade, ready for her next strike, that the witness saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. Oh, really? You hadn't put that together, Sasato? All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance. Oh. I'm in agreement with this prosecution. If the defendant has seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her violence to be viewed with suspicion. But if she was withdrawing the blade, then we're back where we started. Sorry. Consider this, young boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she pull the blade from the victim? It was a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it better be good. Why did Ray pull out the knife? Let me see. Do we even have where is the knife? I don't see a knife in this picture, and where is, like, where's the murder weapon is my point. I wanna save already, just in case. Okay. Oh yeah, going for the jugular. What does father mean? Let the court hear your answer, then, counsel. The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. Actually, come to think of it, I never read the newspaper. Aww, that's such a cute photo. Is there something? Oh, he did get to bring his cat back, though. That's good. I'm wondering if there's something of importance in this photo. There's a fan. Oh no. Oh, maybe I'm imagining things. For a second I was like, wasn't there a fan beside her when she died? I was like, we're gonna find out. Wait, just wait guys, we're gonna find out that this, I'm placing my bets now. Makoto Bar, the father, she's gonna find out her dad was the one who did the crime. Placing my bets now, okay. Yeah, it just makes sense. I found one of the remixes, but I could have sworn there was a better one. Anyway, I think that's mostly all of my thoughts on the episode that I can remember at the moment. Thank you for sharing, Lily. Thank you. It's good to know. It's good to understand both perspectives, you know?
Reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade off the victim's body was surely so to save her life, to hide the knife.
Why would she hide the knife, though? Maybe she thought she was... I would say hide the knife would make sense. But that would be implicating her. Yeah. It's too hot. It's pretty cool at the moment here. I find it really funny that at the moment, whenever it's too cold where you are, it's hot where we are. Like, it's just the weather going down, you know, in waves. Overall, I think he did a pretty good job on introducing the situation of Hungary to a general audience. I love your essay. This is your summary statement. Okay. Save her, stab her again. You know, who's to say she wanted to stab her again? I'm just saying. Because she did hate her. Just because she didn't do the killing blow, maybe she wanted to kill her again. How would pulling the knife out help her, though? To tend to the wound, maybe? I'm just gonna click this.
According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It's thought that she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury. Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Membami was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem that this is the best we can expect of the young Yoko. Indeed. Did I say the wrong one? Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yoko Defense Council, I mean.
Slipshod?
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young Yoko hopefully has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to lore, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to have possessed not one iota of common sense. One more thing, I almost forgot. He didn't really show the tragic situations in public hospitals and such. It is really, really bad, and the government is doing nothing about it. Anyway, that's probably it, unless I remember something. Damn. Yeah, because he kind of, like, skimmed over it, didn't he? It's kind of interesting to think, like, you know, it's really easy to just kind of be like, man, it is bad, and you don't understand the extent of it, right? Like, I would argue that hospitals in Australia are bad, but they're still way on the good end compared to a good number of other places, you know? And, you know, it's a hospital. What are you supposed to do? Trying to organize so much stuff, and they're constantly behind. I won't permit your request. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding.
That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Did I click the right response then?
Is that what you just said? True, Inspector. Could pulling a knife from him really cause bleed heavily?
Oh my god. Girl, do you not know your basic first aid?
Think of the weapon itself as a stopper to the wound. That prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed. Oh, I see.
Ah, this is why Yoko should stay on the farm. And a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
What?
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see. Or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yeah, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that could prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
Yeah. She could not do the killing blow and still be like, gonna let this bitch die. Just saying. I don't know. Yeah, tell her ouchie. God, I love elitism. I love you, Lily. Sorry, my Hungarian side came through. You start like standing at attention, like saying the Hungarian, like the song. Don't need to worry about the victim bleeding out when you pull the blade out if you heat the blade up first. I mean, what? You know, you're right, Balvon. Just need more fires. The Hungarian anthem. Da 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 da. I'm hungry. Oh my god, no. Oh my god, guys, I have to tell you this, okay? Okay, my co-worker, God bless his soul, he is one of the greatest guys in the world. That's so funny. It was so funny today. He literally told me, he was like, he was talking about how he's lost weight recently. But he was telling me that it's helped that he hasn't had as much Macca's as recently, and he's like, I saw a conspiracy theory that all of the food from Macca, like all the meat from Macca's, could be made from human meat, and I burst into laughter. I was like, listen, maybe in some other countries where they don't have as good rules, but Australia is pretty like concise with ensuring that everything is up to code. I don't think that's possible. And he's like, well, how do we know? How is the meat so delicious? It's like, do you think that human meat is delicious? I'm like, what? Oh my god. Hold a minute. I know. What? And he's like, see, this is like, yeah, he was just, oh my god. But yeah, it was going on about this, and I'm sitting there like, mate, I believe that not having Macca's is a good option, but also you know, and then he was like, did you, like, it was just a whole thing. Finally found all my bracelets from when I got an x-ray. I can put them back on now. All of them? All the bracelets? How many bracelets do you have? Oh my god. Chotamate. Okay. 3. I thought you were doing the ooh face. I was like, huh? Okay, that makes sense. I really wanted the Peach PRC Pandora charm. Nice. But I also want to come see you in September, so... Is it really a choice? I mean, I guess Pandora charms are usually super expensive, aren't they? It is a choice, yes. Okay. What was I gonna say? Yes, I was gonna say 3 bracelets make a lot more sense. I was like, I don't know why, it was just something, I'm just imagining you taking like a whole arm of bracelets off, like they just all crash into the desk. I choose you! Pikachu. Wait. I choose you! Okay. It was a lot of work, okay? Yeah. I mean, I did when I went to the Eras Tours movies. Wait, what? Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em. Oh. Come home with a heap of friendship bracelets. Ooh, cool. I really like bracelets, but I don't wear them. It's like how I really like jewelry. I can't express to you guys. I would get more jewelry if I could, but I don't wear it, so it's illogical at that point. Swifties can be a great fandom. I love that. I think I've said this to you before, but like, I've never felt more camaraderie with an entire room and atmosphere than when I went to go see the Critical Role show live. Like, it was definitely like the type of vibe where I was like, I would trust any of these people with my life. Like, kind of feeling. Which is so weird because it's like, I don't know these people, but it's like, we all know and love Critical Role. Like, of course, like, I could put my life in their hands. Anyway.
Knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
That's what she said. I got you. Okay, so hold up a second. I'm gonna save. Someone should take out my lung. It doesn't need to be there. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge to any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense. There's no good reason why the defendant would have pulled out the knife. Let's not forget the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man... Okay. I feel like it's gonna be in one of these 2 sentences that we got. I need to find the contradicting evidence. It's weird that it doesn't tell me anything more about this. I will say there is no knife in the wound. Oh wait, well we already know that because she had it in hand. Okay. Around 2 p.m. Single stab wound from behind, piercing a lung, resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis. Pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. Yeah, that's a Swiftie concert. Even just movie vibes. Nice. I love them. I think I need a press here.
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean if you used due care and attention, it would be alright?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out really, but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you.
As you see, Council, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
In that case, is there an obvious explanation here?
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant, Ray Mabami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense.
What do you think about that, Professor Makuntiba?
I'm not sure you would be you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
I thought it'd be better than labeling her a murderer.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Are we sure?
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical and research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh! Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women.
Yes!
Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views.
Good job, Hasanaga! He's so goated. Let's go.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take a hold a little too much.
Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument.
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mambami's talent and offered her the position of assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes, the Englishman appeared to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Mambani-san's abilities. Yeah.
Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point.
This is hopeless. Can't find a single crack in the testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would have threatened to misspread's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Sasato, it's at times like this it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
Please don't tell me what to do. I swear to God, I'll be a good. I actually haven't inspected this yet. I did forget to inspect this.
Take off the pin slid.
Okay, it looks like a pen.
Now, let's unscrew the battle.
Lovely outfit. There's no ink. It's an EpiPen. I love this outfit for Sasato. Oh my god, she looks so good. Okay.
This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yeah, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Oh, okay, I'm placing my bets now. The pen actually had poison inside of it. Potentially. The pen had poison in it. She was stabbed in the back. Maybe she grabbed it out herself and then was holding it. And then why would she have the knife in her hand though? That's the one thing. It does look like, oh, and she was definitely stabbed. She was, yeah, no, there's definitely a hole in this back area, right? She was sitting down on this chair when she died. Oh, that makes so much more sense. So she was sitting in the back of the room. She was sitting in the back of the room. She was stabbed in the back with the pen. Okay, right? And then she fell forwards, because that explains like her movements here. I was wondering why there's like wine and stuff everywhere. It would explain that if she's like sitting here drinking like this, she was stabbed in the back, through the back of the thing, fell forward. I don't know how she would get the pen in her hand. That's the part that confuses me. Like, why not leave it where it is? Unless she was like, she felt the stab. Actually, yeah, she might have like felt the stab, like pulled it out, and then kind of like maybe the effects of the poison started to like happen, and that's when she started to like convulse and like fall over. It also explains very tight rigor mortis, like in the hand specifically, because you have to wait. I'm pretty sure you have to wait a little bit before that rigor mortis starts to set in. So it shows that like her hands, as she was already dying, was like quite clasped like around that potentially. But the knife, where would she have gotten the knife from? So even if she was poisoned, like, why would Membami even have a knife to begin with? Was she hoping to do some like medical, did she trust her medical like experience to be able to do something? Anyway, you're so smart. You're so smart. Who implies poison too? Exactly. I think it's cloth front and back to the place. Basically 2 half curtains. What? No, like someone fucking wedged a hole in that back. That is not a curtain. If they actually, like, that's a stab air. Like someone's obviously gone and then gone with the pen. Anyway. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge. In other words, there's no real reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. I'm just thinking through information. Like, have you seen the Japanese bath entrances? They usually just have like 2 curtains that like flop down, right? To like, in the animes, it's like 2 cloths. I know I am. Yeah, Balvon, flex it! Alright. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Okay. I guess it wouldn't have exactly covered everything. Anyway. I'm trying to figure out how on earth I connect. I didn't press this comment before because I didn't think it would like reveal anything. Motive and opportunity. Don't know the law. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's the angle I'm supposed to figure out here? Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. I'm gonna read this again. Time of death, 11th of August at around 2 p.m. ascertained by examinations and witness statements. Single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis, pupil dilation, constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. What? What am I supposed to infer here? Fact that Miss Pratt was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is a very clear message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there'd be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence. What does it want me to do? Found on paper a small reservoir inside in which ink can be drawn. There is a very small amounts of liquid and it's still inside. That doesn't tell me anything though. The photo doesn't show what I'd call heavy bleeding. I mean, I would, but hey, you know, let's try it. I mean, we may have different definitions of heavy bleeding. Okay, no. Music didn't stop. Examine everything. I did. Shit, I need to examine this again now. I reloaded after it, god damn it. Oh, I should have saved before I did it. Whatever. I need to click through this again now. You didn't take the evidence at face value. You needn't take the evidence at face value? What do you mean? That's the whole point of this game. Oh, what? I mean, unless it wants me to... Wait, hold up. No, let me try clicking on it again. Maybe it wants me to inspect what type of liquid is inside of it? Potentially? Okay. Wow, we did it. Oh, I can inspect this now! Oh, thank God! Okay, this was driving me insane. I don't know why. I tried to inspect it earlier and it didn't work and I was like, why? Okay, I'm gonna save. Actually, no. I might as well save after I've inspected it. And then we're fine. Okay. Tell me. Give me the info.
Raucous England returnees tell all. This is an interview with you and Saseki-san. Isn't it, father? It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yeah, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. Photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me in the neck.
I do hope you weren't hurt. This is the newspaper from Saseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yumai Medical Research Laboratory. Let's go. From Yumai's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
What? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen? How is he only just finding out about this?
It's this morning's paper that Saseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as it is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. Not heard anything. Where on earth could the reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on the strictest confidence.
Why were you even making it then? I mean, I guess to make a cure, right?
I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
No!
That's real bad.
Ray, she was managing it.
If that's what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. Oh no! And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
I mean, how do we know he's not lying, though? I'm just saying. This is great. This is great. Okay, but this doesn't help. This doesn't help Ray's case at all. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsume on the 11th of August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensics science laboratory was stolen. Deadly in tiny quantities. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade, would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Why is the poison being developed? Onset of symptoms occur in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparent that an entire new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Okay. Okay, again, this doesn't help our case though. How is it, like, how do you fix it? Is there a way to, like... How do you fix the poison? Maybe she was trying to make her bleed. Oh, maybe she was intentionally trying to make her bleed the bleed it out. That's another way of trying to stop poison, right? Like, you, like, get them to bleed more. Right? Okay. Save first, Hannah.
Objection!
Okay, we're good.
No, there's one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the wound from the victim's wound. The knife, whatever.
Ah, the Yoko not only has poor grasp of the law, but also a poor loser.
Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified? It's here, in this newspaper article.
This is gonna look terrible for you, mate.
An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yumei University.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But...
Prosecutor Archie will let the defendant speak.
But a newspaper article.
The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry. Counsel for the defense. I'm going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper mentioned affirms your assertion. Okay, just give me a second. Let me think for a sec. I went to look at the autopsy report, so I want page 2. I was just making sure. Definitely page 2. Okay. Your Excellency.
Of course. Thank you.
It was 2, right? Fatal in minutes. No, I would need the constriction. So why is the poison being developed? Why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says, Wait a sec. We are talking about just the putting in of poison, right? Okay. Surely I want this one. Sorry, I'm a little confused by like what sort of angle they're going here. Cause howdy Jesus, how's it going? Christ has risen. What's it like being risen? Okay, is it like bread? Do you feel a little lighter inside? Just go with me here. It's once a year, okay? You get all the bad jokes now and then you can move about your life. Sucks. I want to go back to bed. That is so valid. Just like Jesus wakes up on the Sunday, rolls aside the tomb and just goes, oh, 5 more minutes. Goes to bed. Why is the poison? You know, I'm just gonna click this.
According to the article, the development of the poison was requested by the military.
Yes. A troubling revelation.
Oh, it's very worrying.
Oh my god. No, the point is the constriction in the... Whatever. Ah, fuck, I'm back here. Guys, I'm so good at this game.
Objection!
Cool. Chat is cute. Man, I haven't done shiny hunting in a while. I've been playing so much Procopia, I haven't even thought about shiny hunting.
Objection!
It's kind of funny how much it's like, I play a little bit of Pokemon on stream and then y'all don't see like the other 90% of me playing it.
The article reveals the following properties about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it rapidly absorbs and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from emptying and entering the victim's body.
What?
Objection!
Objection! This is complete and utter nonsense. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document. Well, that's so. Because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold. Oh, please, this is a clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind.
What? Do you mean a weasel's fart?
Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with the case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student would have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive, but instead you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, I did raise suspect of the poison. If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in a modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency, I'm well aware. I've seen it many times. from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
You only did 3 cases before you left, but that's fine. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the news article? What is that?
I'd ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Oh. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well, under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occur in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely.
Yeah, and as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without a doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree. This is a very compelling evidence.
You student, yokel student, and yokel professor.
Why did it say yokel? I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions. Oh. Eugen Makodaba.
Yeah, yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you're best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense's counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details report in this newspaper, please.
Pains me to admit, but I'm afraid I don't know.
You don't know?
The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say. Listen to this bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads it in the newspaper. I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor.
You should have more control over your students rather than allowing them off on a killing sprees. That's totally unfounded. None of this is Professor Makotaba's fault. It's all my fault. Hey.
Bimbami-san, you stand accused here. Abas like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew. I'd placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Saseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount, it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided to try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? You don't mean? Yes, of course. It was that dainty Englishwoman.
Miss Giselle Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Instead, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she was untouchable.
And then she died from that.
I know it was you who stole the poison. Well, now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet. before falling to her knees in front of me and...
Fuck.
and then collapsing to the floor.
The fuck was in there?
That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what just had happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes had shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips while I'd been with her.
She had a cup of wine in her hand, too. Didn't she? She hadn't drunk it yet?
Which left only one possibility for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes. If the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I had hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now.
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, remember, Miss-Anne, if that is the case, maybe you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed?
Well...
You have no answer, because the truth is simple. Is that you stabbed the victim, motivated by revenge.
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it's very much conclusive.
What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm as sure of it.
You'll produce the aforementioned evidence at once, won't you? Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What? I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence.
Someone took another photo? Who's been taking these photos? Oh, Saseki-san's dude.
But you've brought this on yourself?
Damn.
What the? Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused murderous nature. Well, I can't look at it. Oh, hold on. For it shows the precise moment the Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No, that's not true, or no. I don't believe it. Oh.
I don't believe it, mate. Hold on. Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom? Perhaps this voice is yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature. Bro.
I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now, Sasato's starting to show her face here. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. Yay! Let's have a look again. But also, it's too crazy that they have that photo of the exact moment. Especially if, like, theoretically, that could be the moment they took it out. Oh my god, that's literally through... It's through the hole in the fucking back of the... I told you she was stabbed through the hole. They took a photo of her taking out the knife from the hole in the wall. That's insane. That's so stupid. Also, can I just say, the same crack in each of these different photos. Did you notice? There's the same... It's the fucking photographer, I fucking knew it, okay? It's the same photographer each time. Because it's the same broken fucking lens each time. The same one here, and oh, there's none in this one. That's fine, that's probably by like a different dude. But I'm like, it's the same person. We're gonna find out it's the photographer who's been following Saseki-san around, and he's gonna do something. he's trying to like make it look like her, maybe? I don't know why though.
Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph? Okay.
Objection!
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert the attention.
Objection!
Oh. That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Ah! Yeah, reveal the bitch. Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. There was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Well, we do know. Goodness.
Actually, does it say who the... Let me check while I can.
Does this at all mention who took the photo? The photographer there, he said it, managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck. Okay.
In full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believed it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court.
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you student and professor. What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant had already submitted to pulling the blade from the room.
Yeah.
Clearly this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged but the victim's back, but
the moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste the court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed. With our knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light... I know who it is! I know who it is! Let me do it! I know who! No. Illy Balvorn. Hope you're having a good day.
Is what you've established so far true, then there can be no doubt. There's a motherfucker lurking around us. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we need to prove that somehow.
And to rue the day you came up against the Takatsuchi Ouchi in a court of law.
If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to end.
I know. I know who it is.
The burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is,
I have the answer.
This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with an answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photograph is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
Wow. No, you can't possibly. But, as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
Okay, let me save. Always pressing the right buttons here. Let's go. What's the time anyway?
9:30.
Wow. Oh well, present your proof to court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of this mysterious photographer?
This one.
Take that!
What is that? The newspaper again? Raucous England, returnees tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph.
Yes, I'm too smart.
If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes, indeed. They had already caught my eye, as it happens.
Ah, what of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably, from the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at the photograph,
Good gracious.
Yes, exactly. The same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing. Ah, yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely, from the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council.
That's what's quite remarkable about it is the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears in both photograph prints is the result of
A camera defect.
obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photograph. With the photographic evidence?
Yeah, we can confidently say the camera's lens must be scratched, and that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
There must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Joke's on you. Hi, I've been cleaning my room. Have we executed our jeez yet? I'm sure we're gonna get there soon, Lily. But good job. Well done. Go get that room clean, okay?
I think you're forgetting something, Ouchie. That one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper? Ah, article.
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
A newspaper, joke's on you, I can't read.
That's disappointing to hear, Con, because you write so fabulously. I see why you were called a raucous English returnee. What are you yelling about? You've already testified. It's what? It's memo, I tell you, memo. Mo. This is the perspective of the camera.
Saseki-san, what was that? Did you say memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoryu News has been hounding me, following me every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Memo. The RM! Yes, hounding me from dawn to dusk.
Ah, now he mentions it.
Yeah, look, I told you. Remember when I said, man, he's suspicious? And I said, look at this hand. Why is he covered in blue? Remember this? Man, I know things. Makes my job very difficult. What job? What aspect of your job does it make it difficult?
Could that be the same reporter?
Camera to the left of him, a notebook
To the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Raiten Memo.
So you're saying that this picture was taken by
Memo, yes, my lord, your excellency, Esquire.
Esquire? Officer, find the newspaper reporter at once and bring him to the courtroom. I will adjourn for a short recess.
Parts that involve reading, what do you mean? You don't need to read, what do you mean? No one needs to read for anything, okay? It's all about the vibes, okay? I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. That's just what the vibe says. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood? Oh, God. Boo do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. You're literally proving that you need to be able to read to play video games. I don't know what you're talking about. I told you it's all vibes. It's true. You don't read. No reading here. 13th of August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants in Chamber 3. Okay. I'm having a good time. How's the night going? It's going well. I'm having a good time. Comfy, cozy. Good. Good. Oh, I'm a little sleepy. I was just double checking my shift is... my shift is tomorrow. And get rid of that 6 o'clock alarm. God forbid. Yeah, that'll be fun. I demand that you sing the rest of the dialogue in this game. I'm so sorry, Sasato. I should have told you about the toxin. Right. What do you want from me? Large swath of silence. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. Are you happy? Pauses are musical too. Yeah. So I'd hoped to retrieve the substance from the English woman before anyone found out. Nice. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Sasato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by my side to the last. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Sasato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Sasato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. I mean, very happy. Really? That's surprising to hear. Very surprising to hear. He enjoys my singing. That can't be right. 5 minutes without swearing. Ba-do-do-do-do. I'm no better than you, you know. Oh? Even though in my heart I knew you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back, there was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Sasato, I'm sorry. After I stood there and promised you I'd stand by you and always by your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh, no.
I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Kiss more women. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father, that fact has clearly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. Yes. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? And maybe kiss a little bit and like make up and make out? Please forgive me.
Just saying. Aww. You're such a good singer though. Hannah will remember this. See, when you say it, it doesn't quite feel genuine. So you'll have to like forgive me for pressing X to doubt. Ow. Fuck, man. My leg is in so much pain. I just swore. 6 minutes without swearing. Oh, Sasato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Kiss her. Oh, Ray. Something so funny about, like, I've been shipping Susato and Naruhodo this whole time, and now it's like, man, she had a lover back home. Oh, God. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put the blanket here. Ugh. I look forward to you questioning everything I do in Baldur's Gate 3. You know, I will. I will do that, unequivocally, okay?
I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet and died.
Is Ray age appropriate? Because 23 to 16 was creepy. What? I mean, I don't think it's that. Well, I guess it kind of is. Yeah, that is 7 years. I only say that because she acts like an adult, right? Like, she is, I'm just saying, like, the main character, sorry, Susato is 16 and yet she's acting as a judicial assistant is insane. She's saying more things than I even know. Poor Naruhodo would be lost without her. 16, they're the same age. But they're old enough to be in university, now that I think about it. What was life like in the 1900s? Did kids, do kids go to university at like 15 maybe? I mean, admittedly her dad is like the professor, so like maybe he expedited her learning certain things, but then like who wakes up at 10 years old and goes, lawyering, that's what I want to do. I say that like those people don't exist. Those people totally exist.
It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only person in the hut at the time? That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
Yeah, sometimes. No kids worked. Oh, right. If they had a 7-year gap and met and she was like 20, then whatever. No, that's totally fair. I'm just acting, she definitely acts like an adult. Some famous physicists and mathematicians from the 19th. Numbers. 19th century went to university in their teens. Oh shit. That's pretty cool actually. What are we doing then? You're like, you have to wait till you go through... How many years of schooling is there? 12? 6? Prep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's just 12. Yeah, literally 12 years of uni. Like, just of high school. Someone send me out. I assume they had rich parents. Well, I mean, if this guy's a professor at the thingy. I don't know. Anyway, I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It will be all right. However, it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Makoto bar. Yeah, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time, we must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under some scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yeah, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the poison.
Why do you just have it on you? Give it to the person.
More reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. Just drink it, down it like a good shot of whiskey.
Solution of a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy.
Okay. Why did you just hand me poison, Father?
What's the matter, Susato? You're awfully very quiet.
Suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Humane Medical Research Laboratory.
You know, they said there was a leak. It kind of makes sense that it would be the photographer that's like, hey, I heard this happened, and he was the cause of it. It was all the Englishwoman's doing.
What?
It was when the professor and Saseki-san were being interviewed in the laboratory. That so-called Englishwoman swarmed in without any compunction and said to Professor Makotoba,
Oh, Professor. Surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there.
good fucking job, mate. Put me in a very awkward position, to be frank, but Saseki-san's curiosity has been piqued.
Excellent. Mostly no, one was taken there by his mother who walked across half of Europe. One just walked up the president of the US to talk when he went on his daily walks and ended up getting sponsored by him.
That's about as much as I'd expect.
So then Saseki-san knew about the poison.
Yeah, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up a story about us would have caught a little glimpse of the toxin too.
This Menememo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you or when you went to the beach?
Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Saseki-san pointed out that invited reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then, presumably, he posted it anonymously to the police. Sorry, my words were mixed up.
Yeah, that must be what happened. Counsel, we've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial's about to resume. Return to the courtroom at once.
Good night, Older. Sleep well.
Defense attorney Ryotaro Narahara.
Yes. Ray's put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that she's telling the court the truth. I have to prove what really happened that day.
We did it. Alright. Here we go again.
I hereby call this court order as we reconvene and continue the trial of Ray Mamam. Order, Ouchie, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address the question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh.
What news? And why does he look so happy about it? During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Makotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle's Brett's life.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I merely carried out your instructions. Bootlicker!
I had the reagent delivered to the police, yeah.
But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
I want the hut to stop. Escape me. Just run outside. Feel the breeze in your hair or something. Yeah.
What were the results?
Oh.
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim. And no trace of poison whatsoever along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake.
doesn't mean they didn't get the liquid and just spray it all over the wound and just go like watering a garden. In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Fuck you, some may say. Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Excellent. Keep her going, yeah.
No trace of poison on the knife, if that's really the case. How could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
I mean, it's definitely in the pen. We know that for sure. It's a shame. This guy is so cute. Look at him, he looks so excited. And he's an artist as well. Rayton Menamemo of the Shoyu News. I'm what people would like to call a journo. Awesome.
What's a journo, Father? What do you know?
Simply a contraction of journalist.
I'm there when the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning.
They don't call me. Don't do that. Ow, your pecs, man. What are you doing?
They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
No nipples. News guy.
So it was you who took this photograph, was it? Well, what do we have here? I'm sorry.
Oh, brace yourselves, people. Mememo sends a scoop in the offing.
Female student up to Flower Place, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at the 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh?
Right then, let's start with your name.
Oh, Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
Wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro's suddenly become very ambitious, you see. Right.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Takatsuchi Aochi. That's Takesuchi Aochi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. Boo. Love it.
No, the readers won't buy that.
What? So funny. So good. Okay.
Yes?
What this course demands to know is whether or not you're responsible for taking of the photo.
Yes, I would be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with and a fast hand to write with, and fast hand to jerk off with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my memorism. Ugh. That's so many things. God fucking damn it, man. Ugh. Memorism.
I'm never gonna be able to say that again. Yep. Ah, yeah. I remember your face. We met at the day when you were interviewing myself and Saseki-san. Saseki-san! Shh. We're so fun. Okay.
Yes, right, that's me, many memo, again.
Well, you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News office after our meeting.
But the scoopers, I didn't. Because the Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? Your criminal, left to do as she pleases, just because she happens to be a British citizen?
It's horse dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core.
The Supreme Court's ruling aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. See, he's still smart. Well, I quickly jotted down those words, and she said, in my memo poem. I hate it. Are you ready? I read it out. It's all here. Right, here it goes. I should like to go with everyone to see my country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. But literally, what?
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness its firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph?
Oh, yes, I saw it with my very own journo eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera.
Thank you, Mene Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony. I'll drink some water.
Okay. God, this guy talks a lot. Alright. The beach hut was made of a shoddy old reed screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor. She stabbed her in the back.
Wait, sorry, how do you throw someone to the floor while you stab them in the back? Like, does she bring her in for like a hug and then stab her? Like, what?
My smoldering journal spirit burst into flame quick as a flash. I whipped up my camera ready to click. I pulled apart the rough reeve of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot.
Stop doing that, man. You're gonna stretch something. You're gonna break something.
Reed screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly through in that great shot I snapped.
Smear in the hand is ink. Well, definitely most of it is. The blue is. I think there's green on him too. I don't know if he has red on him.
The hot walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds.
Yeah, it's just blue, but I guess I don't know how it could be anything else, but.
And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. Saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that, considering admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's minimalism in a nutshell.
At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No.
Wonderful news, Excellency, wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. More pathetic excuses. Very well then, Counsel. Let's do it.
Okay, there's more to this reporter than meets the eye.
He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest, under his nipples.
Bro needs to stop doing that though. I'm always scared of like elastic just like flicking me, okay? It's intimidating. Made a shoddy read, so there was plenty of gaps I could see through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the girl came in and started arguing with them. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. Okay, I think it's this. This is the line I want to push the most.
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment that the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are. It's all here on my memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on the stool at the back of the hut here. Or where are you seeing this from? Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It is my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. Okay. I was gonna say, like, if he was gonna say, like, the crime happened, like, I keep hoping that maybe he'll say he was from the wrong angle. That's what I'm hoping. He'll be like, and where did you see this exactly from? Stop. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what a menomemism is. Well, where were you, mate?
By the way, Meno-san. Meni-memo-san. Whilst you were watching this terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap of the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy, rather than capture it on film?
Hey, Sir Sasato, there is this amazing thing in psychology called the bystander effect. Had to think for a second. Look it up. Judges have to be observers. We can't get involved. Even with crime?
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yeah? I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Well, I got a piece of evidence. Which part is he? The nihilism is the foundation of menomonomism, but I'll happily prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Maybe I want to press again. Okay, let's save, and then we're gonna press again. Wrong button.
Hold it!
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot. But why would you submit information like that without saying who submitted it? That seems awfully sus. Really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Menomonism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time it's those instances, menomonism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on.
Surely he's making all of this up.
Yeah, he is.
Claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
Maybe I need to push a different statement to get a different... I would like the reads to be like a specific piece of evidence. Potentially. Hmm. Well, I guess we'll just keep pressing. Okay.
What made you want to see how it was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Call it genre instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the genre as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera, and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Nope, you've got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry.
To my mind, all that was inside the hut was a scoop, nothing more, nothing less. Scoops, no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even menomism, it's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate.
Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on?
I was really hoping we'd get the reads as evidence. Okay, let's start arguing. We just made up stories. Is what I'm supposed to present here the photo that shows... Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna save again. Okay, because the photo does show some shoe prints, specifically at the front of one of the photos. But, like, could be anyone. Because there's quite a few footsteps here, right? But... I mean, that could just be the testament of these two walking around, but it does look very much like a covered shoe print, right? Like, it's not like sandal, I mean, it could be sandals, but like, you'd think bare feet if you're on the sand. Does it show her shoes? Yeah, it does. Also sandals. The sandals, the footprint of a sandal would look different though. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. I will say his final statement about this, the beach hut plan, doesn't quite align with this photo though. Because it's more side by side, I'd argue, from this point. Rather than like front to back or anything, but... How... Oh yeah, I haven't expected this. It's German, so your knowledge of English is gonna be a little of help, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it, in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear. Is it? But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
No other hole in it or anything? Hi, Dom.
Hi.
You've been working this whole time?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to. You can go to bed at any point, Adara.
I was about to. Can you mute for a second?
Oh, okay. Give me a second, lads.
Well, when you
There.
unmute, tell her thank you.
Adara says thank you, Aylin.
Oh.
Balthon says hi.
Hello.
Con says hi.
Thank you, everyone. I need the emotional
She
support
does.
right
She's
now.
so amazing. She's still working.
I'm too competent.
She's still working. I'm so proud.
I better get that promotion after this.
Yeah, you fucking better.
This is outside of the scope of my role.
Yeah, right. You keep doing stuff that like the CEO should be doing. Surely. It's okay. Dara, get that chamomile in you. Okay, don't. You need to like complete tranquil until as you like wait for your tea to melt. Okay, and then you when your tea's finished making, you take a sip, you put it down, and then you go back into it. Okay, mindfulness. Do you need an orb? Do you need a frog? Do you need Luffy? Do you want? Do you need like a plushie or something?
Yes, I need it.
Fucking Manaphy, no! I thought I was gonna throw it better than that.
Oh my god, but you still threw Manaphy.
I'm sorry.
That's the issue.
I was like, yeah, I'll get the real oomph into its butt.
I'm sure Manaphy appreciated that.
Yeah!
Look how happy she is.
Always happy.
God, how long have you had that thing?
What do you mean? We bought it in Adelaide last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I was obsessed. I was like, Adara, do I buy this or this? And you're like, the Manaphy, Hannah.
It was always going to be the Manaphy.
I am upset. I'm thinking about a Macca's oat hot chocolate now. Fuck!
What time is it? Is it too late?
It's
Yeah,
too late.
too
Shit! Oh, I would have been there for it. I'm like, sorry guys, bye.
Wait, when are you going to work tomorrow?
11.
Oh, okay, it's not really enough.
But
I was like, I will get up at 6:30 so we can do a Macca's run and take us both to work.
that sounds amazing, but I could just make us hot chockies when we're both at work.
I am going
Beautiful.
to definitely get myself an assign tomorrow. I did
You-
search it, and it's on discount.
Yeah, it's a little treat for you. And after all your work today, get that sleigh. Also, I still need to taste it.
I'll just ask Billy for like a voucher for the assign, please. For all the work I've done for this.
My god, can you imagine? Hey, I don't want you to pay me for the 3 extra overtime hours I worked, but I would love a free little acai bowl.
Yeah. It's like, I want $100 worth of acai bowl that will get me through the next 2 months.
It's never too late for Macca's. It is for our local Macca's.
Yeah. it
Fucking
closes
closes at 10. Disgusting.
Horrible.
Worst thing in the world, but also makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are asleep. Including me. I'm asleep.
I
Go,
will
get that
focus on-
chamomile.
Yeah.
Mwah. I love you.
Good luck.
Good luck, Adara. Why is she saying good luck to me? I don't need it. What sort of Macca's closes at 10? What the fuck? I don't know, man. One that doesn't get visited much past 10. I don't know what you want from me. Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out evidence. Good luck, Han. I don't need luck, Adara does. Though I'm really thinking about that oat hot chocolate now. I think only one of our Macca's shuts at 10. Tehehehe. Come on. There we go. Shopping center one? That makes sense too. I never once said, okay, I was gonna try, did I save? I can't remember. I can't remember what I was exactly about to do. We're gonna save, and then I'm gonna present the photo with the shoes in the image. That's what I'm going to do, because that's what my heart says.
Objection!
It was wrong. Okay, my heart was wrong. That's fine. I literally, so, I can't remember if I've mentioned this before. We have a regular, God bless her soul. She's very easy to remember because her name is Sage and she gets a matcha, right? Green, green, perfect, love it. She gets a soy matcha, but she likes her matchas super, 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 super hot, okay? Like the heat of the sun, okay? That's how hot she likes her matchas. I have held, okay, so to briefly explain coffee stuff. When I heat up, heat up some milk, okay, I put my hand to the jug. The moment it becomes too hot for my hand to hold, I put it away, and I count, okay? it's like, you know, it might be 3 seconds for an average coffee, 6 for extra hot. There's technically not an 8, but I go up to 8 because we either have extra hot or extra hot. Just go with me here. Extra hot, extra hot though. I do 8 seconds, okay? Let's just, the point is, it's a bunch of counting, okay? And if you want extra hot, I do anywhere between 10 and 12 seconds, all right? I have put it in for, I'm not kidding, like 25 seconds, and she came back and was like, it's not hot enough. What? Insane! I love her. There's always an element of like, really? It's not hot enough? But then there's always that other part of me that's like, just the weird amount of respect of like, how are you drinking this? I have a milk thermometer. Actually, I've never tested, you know, I should definitely do that. Like, just heat it as hot as I can and then get the thermometer and then put a thermometer in. Because we do have one at work. I just, you know, obviously it's like, as I said, I swear 25 seconds from taking my hand off of it and it's still not hot enough. Like, it confounds me. It's amazing. And the term God bless their soul refers to someone that is dead. No, it doesn't. When nowhere in that sentence does it imply that a person either has to be living or dead. You can bless someone's soul and them not be dead, okay? I say it all the time, okay? God rest their soul does. Yes! I said God bless their soul though. Okay. Oh, we didn't do it. Okay, that's right. We failed and we had to reload. Okay. Shh, guys. I'm looking up the answer. Press statement 3. Oh, okay. I was not thinking that. Okay, what we have to do is present the pen because it has his initials on it and that's proof that he was on the premises. Even though I feel like that's a pretty, you have to first link that it's definitely his, but
Objection!
I wasn't really thinking that. I just tried to pull my Duna over me and accidentally punched myself in the face. You are loved, Aelin. We love you dearly. Okay. Both phrases have the same meaning, but it doesn't say they're dead. You could say God bless their soul and it not mean they're dead. I'll check with my mother, don't make me. Okay.
When this statement is definitively contradicted with this piece of...
Oh. Okay, hold on. Apparently this is not right, but that's fine. Back. Still want to finish this, guys. Examine the pen further. Didn't I? Oh. I have to examine it again?
Our initials are very clearly engraved here. To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think it can be any doubt. This key piece of evidence.
I've done this, though.
I love taking pens apart. It's just kind of fun. Oh, it has a symbol on the butt! Oh! Good pickup.
Some sort of emblem here. Look. But isn't that a Yume University one?
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. Business of some kind. But that would mean to imply the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I await the professional feedback. God bless pronoun is for living people. God bless her. I can say I can specify their soul. So what? That's what happened to all my pens. Oh my God.
We're using them to store poison and stab people, of course. E.
Objection!
Okay. You can say God bless her, you can say God bless them, you can say God bless he, but you can also say God bless their soul, okay? They are a person. They have a soul in their body. It is their body and their soul, and they are blessed. Okay?
Many months, the son. Until now, I've had a firm belief that the newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. The press don't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Show You News on my arm. You're gonna regret that in a second. In a way, that's more minimalism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
Well, what are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, counsel?
Menamemo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen?
Ah,
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
what are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up, counsel. The initials of the accused, remember me.
It is a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also R.M.
No. The alphabet has been used against me.
Write in Menamemo R.M.
That's horse dung. Can't you see one of the central tenets of minimalism is being a pencil user?
And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, there is very obviously blue ink stain.
Okay, I would argue that's like more the color of how often is blue ink used these days? I mean, okay, blue ink does use, and yes, it does leak, blah, blah, blah. It's just, that's a very bright, like, shade of blue is my point. It would appear you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Oh, horse, see. Horse dung. Love you, Anne. I'm off to sleep before I cause any more accidental injury. I love you, Aylin. Sleep well. Look after yourself. No punching in your sleep, okay? It's pretty much only used in fountain pens. But is it like a bright blue or is it like a dark blue? Because I'm thinking of like, and biros. Okay, yeah, I was thinking of a biro. A biro has like blue ink, but I would argue it's like on the darker side than the more almost violet side of this one.
Menamemo-san, it is not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut.
Objection!
To murder her. I should be listening to this absurd nonsense. It's nothing but another excuse. Exactly. Show You News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Such a good line. Buried, but that brighter one is more likely fountain. Okay. I've never seen a fountain pen with... Well, probably never used a fountain pen. I feel like I've totally seen a fountain pen in real life. Fountain pen ink. Can I, like, look at a photo? Oh, they do have one that's a really nice blue. Wow. I want to write with a fancy fountain pen. That looks so cool. Damn. Man, it looks like a whole thing. Look, it has like different pens and the different writings of them too. Nice. Okay. Learning something. That looks like a Pokédex. My phone? Just the back of it? the fountain pen Pokemon.
There's no need, anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court the alleged clue.
Yeah, especially the way you were holding it. Just do.
As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize, Menno-san.
Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Shoyu News.
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they?
Oh, yes, slay, Sasato.
Well, Menno-san, how do you respond?
No. Ora, explain yourself, witness. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, a Shoyu News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman.
An interview?
You never mentioned this before.
When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before the evil little girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we Menno-moists say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify about it. Right, yes, got it, but on one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san.
Soseki-san.
Oh, yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own, and brace yourselves. It's not a harmless one, it's big.
What?
Alright then. This guy breaks so many pencils. I know, right? Menno states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Well, I will grant the witness's request. Bring in Soseki-san. Poor guy. Just a nervous little guy. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running in. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why Menno demands I reveal it now. Wait, sorry, he's saying so the Englishwoman said something to Soseki before she died? So woman being stoned, the detective realized the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to get help. That's when his writer man asked a question, a very significant one. Why didn't he just say it outright? You mean to say the victim regained consciousness? And when she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yeah. He did, and that's not all. The woman gave him a very definitive answer. An answer that incriminates the accused. This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack?
It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose the withering English rose question. I don't deny it, but she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination here. What on earth could have happened in that hut? Okay.
Hold it!
What question? What did he say?
Oh no, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Writer Man? Out with it, you yokel hack. What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, young girls' panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. Hey. I ran up to the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, heard a faint moan, a moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin. What did you ask, Saseki-san? I asked her, who did this to you?
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
She didn't. She said nothing in response.
When in the stand, you answer the questions. Now, without evasion or reticence, answer the question.
I will.
What?
She just lifted a trembling point and pointed in the direction of the defendant.
But she was pointing past her to the door.
Hold it!
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Saseki-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, and the student girl standing on the far side, and when I asked, who did this to you? The Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut, which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. No.
Saseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
Fiddlesticks, I say.
This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the car, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly. In a very different direction to where the girl, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, when nobody was standing at all. Yes! You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear.
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly, but there can be no doubt there was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction of the victim was pointing. That's not true. That's not true. Come on.
No. No.
Oh. Why is this gonna take so long? The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers, hopes dashed. 92 points across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition. This is serious blow, Sasato. Once we're able to identify the true culprit, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. I know, I can do it. Just give it to me. Let me do it.
They're just recapping the stuff. The past. Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to the question.
Yeah, there is. So, the gallant Yoko student's luck finally runs out. I'd say I'm surprised. Ready to deliver my final verdict. I know how.
Objection!
Yeah, sweat memo, bro.
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your abjuration for the time being.
Oh, to what end, Counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
An alternative theory? Ha, none exists.
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time, by mustering all of her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
Ish, this is fiction, fantasy.
Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I prepare to hear your alternative theory out.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. Okay, let me save. So where are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Right here.
Naruhodo-san would never give up, and I'm a Naruhodo now.
Just marry him.
The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location.
Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting culprit was outside the hut.
What?
Order! Order! Order!
But Shunpo, Naruhodo-san, Esquire, that makes no sense at all. You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap.
But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about, I can swear to that. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Aoshi, there is a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide strong evidence strongly suggesting that it's precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing. You're bluffing.
The defense's assertions is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? Sorry, let me think about those. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? I want to say it's the slit in the thing here, but that might not also be true. I could say it's because they were being attacked from behind in the in this, because this at least like does say stabbed from behind, so it could be that piece of evidence. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? So the specifics are that they were outside. Maybe we'll present this photo and then I'll be like, where in the photo supports this theory? And then click on the back of the hut. That's hopefully what would play out. I'm hoping that's what it means. It could also mean maybe this, because oh no, it doesn't have the pointing, the lady pointing at it in that. Okay, so I can't use that as a piece of evidence yet. Alright, well, let's try it.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene.
Yes, it's clearly visible in the print, the traces of the fatal thrusts that were delivered from the outside the beach hut.
Wait. You take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again I must call on you to explicit court. Where in this photo is the trace of the stabbing which took place?
Take that!
Look closely, just here. Yes, I was right. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No, I can't. I can't see any such thing.
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Love you, did we win yet? Is evil vanquished? Can I have the victory sex?
Not yet, Lily. Not yet. You're gonna have to be patient a little longer, okay? The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut.
This is how you break her, chat. God, fucking damn it. Oh my god. Okay. You're just so candid. When does it happen? You're like a dog waiting for treats.
And of course, everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed.
I'm done with cleaning. Really? That's crazy. Never would have guessed. I hope everything is perfectly clean.
Right in Memo-san, it could only have been you.
Ow! Well,
Objection!
That's preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
No, of course not.
When not?
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
they were sitting on a stool at the back of the hut.
Ah, a stool. A poop?
Have another look at the photograph. Slit in the reed screens would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
My word. So in fact, the victim was
Killed whilst sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screens.
Ah!
Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively, and then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut, before the defendant, Membanmi-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. By your silence, Membanmi-san.
I was going crazy with OCD thoughts because my pillow had a tear in it and I saw it inside the fillings and it had like a few orange spots and I'm like, oh my god, is this mold? And started spiraling anxiety. And I asked my dad and he was like, no. So that was a fun hour. Buddy. Where would you find orange spots? Why would orange be the... It's... What? So that was a fun hour. Anyway, still replace the pillows since it's the time of the year anyway. Blanket too. You're nice. I'm glad you replaced them. I'm glad you have a sense of peace now. Okay. I haven't got the poison being in the pen. Got to the poison being in the pen. Yeah, it'll probably be like a last-ditch effort to kind of be like, he was poisoned though, right? How did he administer it or something? Foam can randomly oxidize orange. Nice. Peace. Yeah. What a cute girl.
Take it you don't deny the charges.
Yes. This is absurd. They're having a good day. Swiseki-san, you might want to get away from that guy. That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means the defendant, Membanmi-san, is innocent of the crime.
Oh, thank goodness. Finally made him cave.
Oh, I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be. The Oucher clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope? It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't. I see no reason for the continuation of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final verdict and... Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? I mean, yeah, you committed a crime. Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you in the place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfect logical deduction.
So,
Your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now.
irrelevant.
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, the trial has shown the whole thing hinges on something else. Okay, here we go.
Reason it's orange is because the government party's color is orange too. Oh really? Such a kind of funny. You look at the color of the conservative parties in Europe and it's like red and blue, maybe some green, and then you have Hungary with orange. I mean, orange is pretty cool. But I can understand seeing orange on your pillowcase would be
Yeah. Not something you want to see? I don't know. You're like, my pillow is becoming a dictator. My pillow is becoming a fascist? No! Okay.
I want orange sheets. Go for it, man. I mean, I feel like you'd be lucky to find orange sheets anywhere. Most of the time, it's like light colors. Even I have light blue.
Embrace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up.
I need to put my glasses on. I'm fucking tired, man.
What? Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. Oh, what's to explain? Now I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for the comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? It's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett, is that right? That's correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that particular poison was used. I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Oh. Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely. If she'd been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. However refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind.
God, I hate this guy. My attention span just grew 68%. Damn, that's so cool. Look at you go. Okay. The ultimate lady doing the ultimate things.
Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
Well, thanks for finally coming to our side about things.
But that can't be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Forgotten already, have we? During this very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. So therefore, this man stabbing this woman does not account for murder because it wasn't the actual moment of death, even though there was the full intent to do so. So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turned out to be a headline maker red herring. Is that about right? Where does this leave us? How in that case did the poison enter the victim's body? There's an undeniable, obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
I mean, she drank it.
Having a look at the photo here, as you see. A bottle of carbonated water and a glass that had been knocked into the ground. I thought it was wine, but apparently not. Too much of a bougie. Poison could have been slipped into either.
So somebody made Miss Brecht drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make for a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the women, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Established? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Hey, what on earth does he mean?
Oh, but let me capture those wide eyes. This is a prime press fodder. This is. Assume that this trial is not destined to end just yet. I hereby call the witness to give further testimony. I'm a journo and a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life, except the cops. And I'm not about to start now, because that's minimalism.
For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminated the truth.
We know what's happening. That's fine. Is literally poison in his pen. You can't hide that shit. Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman, and it's the very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and the pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the court weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. Why wouldn't you poison her? She poisoned the professor guy. So I can totally see him in the light of those details. Him being like, I'm gonna poison her, just like he did. And then just cover her up with, like, extra stabbies.
So you admitted then that everything happened as I described? That you're the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the reed screen?
You can't blame me in this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and that lets murderers walk free? What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. So that bang in the middle of the charming lady's back, I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. Can we put this in the testimony?
Okay.
Can we just arrest this guy? He's obviously sus. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart.
You're implicating Ray again.
She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly a snap. The journo here is off the hook. Argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical. Hey, there's no such thing as nonsensical, okay? When a person does a crime, okay? There's a lot of petty reasons as to why. Chat, can we ban this guy from walking? Grabs crowbar. Okay, alright, put the crowbar down. Okay, I'm sure he'll meet justice eventually. Just give me like 20 more minutes. That's right, it is. Logical and true. I'm glad you've seen it. Justice at last. Come on, let's go. I'm so proud of you, Sasato-san. Kneecaps, kneecaps, time to remove the first 4 letters. What, to just caps? Whenever I think of someone wanting to, like, break kneecaps, I'm just imagining, like, popping the lid
off of like a drink or something. Like a wine bottle kind of thing.
Hold it!
Yes, because I'm about to break his kneecaps. Yeah! Pop them right off. Pop, pop. That's what pop, pop means. Pop, pop. Put him on. Let me click through this a little bit. I still really want to finish this before I go to bed.
Hold it!
What exactly were they arguing about?
About what happened in the restaurant 9 months ago, that's what. This student girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Right, but the Englishwoman just jeered. Case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. I was eating that student girl up inside. It was eating that. I don't. Sorry, that was a faux pas. You could see it. I really felt for her. I'm gonna get my mallet to break kneecaps. Good. Did I miss something? Oh, she's back.
I can't. I can't stand here and listen to this tripe.
Oh, girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whatever you feel like. No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just stay quiet.
But this awful man is making all of this up. Susato-san, please, you have to make them listen.
Yeah, we're working on it, mate. Shut up. Return to the dock at once, Membami-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination.
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, great, peeping Tom.
Wow. Oh, whoa, take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks. I will grant the request of the defense. But Your Excellency, this is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns.
Oh, thank you so much, Your Excellency.
I mean, she's been fairly candid up until this point. Well, she's been candid the whole time.
It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
Anything else?
Press. Stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think of how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But surely it would be no easy task to heal this highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
That's true. I pestered the Professor Makotopa until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited the laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail.
Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since the Seku-san's expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the facts that it was an extremely potent substance.
I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that. Find if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that there were to be an incident involving it somehow. It wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah, yes, Menememo-san, one small question if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy?
Really, you were outside the hut listening whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing, presumably then. It was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard.
Uh-oh.
Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of Shoryu News. The details are too accurate for to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry, don't know what you're talking about. Yes, look at this. The entire article. It's almost what I said to Miss Brett word for word. Well, Memo-san. Memo-san.
As a journal, and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of Menemenism.
Arthur's clearly right about this. The reporter did write that article. He based it on what he overheard in the hut. So this is what this was about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in.
Who sneezes at 11:07 at night? God forbid. Okay.
That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up. My stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I wanted to go on the record. He's riled up. The point is, if you'd poisoned someone, there'd be no reason for them to go and stab the person as well. Yes, there is. He's really going off about that.
Still feel like I don't have enough information to understand how this all played out.
Hold it!
That's how I feel at the moment. Just bang! Ryutaro? Is that his sister?
No, funnily enough. It's Sasato, who's in the first game, and she can't be a lawyer in Japan because she's a female, so she's disguised as a male, and they decided to base her name off Ryunosuke Naruhodo, so she's Ryutaro Naruhodo, who's posing as his cousin.
Right. Okay.
How was your tea?
Yeah, it was good. I've finished now. I promised myself I wouldn't work past 11, it's not worth it. What do you do? I don't say, but...
You can wait a little. Yeah. Love you.
I'm still getting ready for that.
Do it.
Perhaps you doubted the efficacy of the poison and sought to make sure your victim would die.
That's horse dung.
What?
That would be like pouring pepper on your Chinese ramen before you even tasted it. Completely reckless. Although it might surprise you to learn that I am a bit of an impetuous pepper pourer as it happens.
Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have been only minutes away from death. And yet this man then proceeded to stab her in the back as well.
I mean, it does say it takes several minutes to get around the body, and you can kind of imagine him being like, why is she not dead yet? And then when she was sitting there, he was like, I'm gonna stab her just to short manage.
There's to be a good reason for that.
If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly They must have done it prior to Ray entering the hut.
Yes, that's undeniable.
But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation.
Sorry, what change?
Reporter over there overheard the conversation between Ray and the Englishwoman.
Oh, yes, that's it. That's when Mimosans first found out the exact nature of the poison he'd used. That could be the key here.
If the victim had... Sorry, I'm just trying to understand what they just said. If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her. On the face of it, that logic sounds truly reasonable. I feel like this game's trying to tell me something, and I'm not quite sure what it is. The reporter overheard the conversation between Ray and the Englishwoman. So what? Without knowing what the poison did. Without knowing what the poison did, he poisoned her beforehand and then decided to stab her? That doesn't fix the problem, does it? Fun fact, the reason why many Memo licks his pencils before writing is because old pencils made of lead were difficult to write with and would get easier to write with using hydration. I mean, like, yeah, it's not ridiculous. I mean, we've all done that, right? In, like, primary school, you'd write with your pencil and you'd be like, man, you just... I don't know, I feel like you see other people do it, right? You see other people like lick the ends of their pencils and then write, and then you do it a little bit. It does get better. It's just that it's not necessary once you get a pen license and then you use your pen everywhere. Not really. It totally has happened in my primary school. The pencil right here. It's just a pencil. I used to give myself injections with paces or mechanical pencils. I'm sorry, what do you mean by injections? Can you elaborate on that point? Okay. I feel sure that everything would drop into place. That's what we should be looking for. You saying I need more information?
Hold it!
She was pure evil, a cold-blooded killer who had committed murder right there on our Empire's soil. But did our good for nothing government do anything? Not a chance, so I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice, put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it.
So in summary, murderous intentions then.
Whatever you call it, the point is, the Englishwoman was a blight, so I had to do what was right for society. Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl and the doctor, a crime for which she must pay. Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all.
But you still stabbed her with...
Whatever.
Hold it!
Did I press this statement? I can't remember. We got halfway through the statement and then the girl jumped in, right?
Objection!
And then she spoke. Hey Cameron, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's crazy what time zones changing happens. You know what I mean. I sometimes feel like time... Oh no, oh, I clicked it. Okay, I'm gonna click it through again. Yeah, I sometimes feel like, you know, the daylight savings like crosses over for different people in different parts of the world, and then suddenly it's like you see people you don't normally see.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out the plausible reason as to why he would stab her after hearing them argue. I'm gonna save. I'm so close to the end. I'm so close to the end. Objection! I would put the lead all the way out, then hold the button and push it back against my arm. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, now it's 9 AM on Thursday. Nice. Comfy, comfy. Thursday's almost gone for me. Finally, after all these years, we can now legally go to Japan in English Ace Attorney game. Yeah, no more, what was it? Japafornia. Wherever it is. Cala Japan. Japafornia. There you go. Alright. Why? Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? I want to say it's because he was just finding out that the poison... Okay, wait, I need to read the poison explanation. Where is the poison explanation? It was in this. Smallest amount entering the body via the mouth or via a wound from a blood-laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contractions. Such a... I mean, he got her to drink it. So, like, maybe he didn't want to be caught out with the poison on hand? I don't know what this game is trying to tell me. Alright, I'm googling it. Give me a second. I'm so close. I'm so close to the end. And we're playing as Sasato. It's so cool though, I really like it. Makes me happy. Okay. Press statement 3. Membami interrupts him. After you intervene, the judge allows Membami to add a statement in between 3 and 4. Press the new statement. It reveals that the article about the poison is what Membami based on what is listing outside her HUD. Poison article will update. The reporter, Menimama, based it on information he gleaned by eavesdropping. Oh. So this is all the information he heard. Interesting. Statement 2 or statement 5? What am I missing? Sorry. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Following a lecture at Yume, it comes to light that a very disturbing incident took place. It's secretly developed in the universe's forensic and was stolen. I really don't know what it's trying to tell me here, but point is, if you'd poisoned someone, there'd be no reason to go and stab the person as well.
Objection!
Well, I could think of one reason.
Good, enlighten me, please. What?
But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut? Of course he did. There could be no question of it. After all, when we were in the laboratory together, we were all told that it was a terrible toxin. There's only one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, Counsel?
Memo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
That's a good point. Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membami-san entered the hut.
That's... okay, that's really obscure. I see what they're saying now, but that's really obscure.
When I walked in the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison. At which point, Memo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could have come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it was quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable. In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of that particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
I don't think this guy's that smart to think like... I mean, okay, I will say I was kind of thinking about, like, only a handful of people. I was thinking maybe there'd be a lot of people coming and going, but I guess I didn't really think about the fact that it would probably reduce it down to only Sasaki-san and this photographer, basically.
Ah. Everyone in my lab is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Membami-san's being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you, right in Memo-san.
Yeah!
It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day, and it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake. Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms, it was so traceable. As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts, but you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the reed screen.
But what good could that possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Oh, okay. Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction, but he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing sign of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected it.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use, which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
I will say this has been a pretty interesting case. Like, I don't know about you, I felt like the first case of the previous game felt like I was extracting teeth. You know, it was hiding a lot of information from me, right? It's been one of like the things I've like struggled with the most with playing the last game. But like case, specifically chapter 5 of that case and this case so far have actually made me feel smart of like putting the pieces together for the most part. Argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument?
Oh, well, there are a number of, yes, I counter completely.
Objection!
Here we go.
He's angry. Huh, you pathetic, useless, fallen samurai. Fallen? We're going fallen. I don't need a counter-argument. What?
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say, gave it to the victim, you say, stabbed her, you say, lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter-argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you made it all sound plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my many memos, every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the Show You News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word. I'll then blow the story wide open. The pen, a mere reporter from the Show You News, couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory. Yeah, you could have. Honestly, he was pretty smart to steal it in such a way, but also, like, how did he come up with that idea?
Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here.
What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin? Annoyingly handsome. My point is this.
There is no way that you, Menememo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
Wait, what? I've heard enough verbal contraction now. What the court must be showed as evidence. Pen.
The proof, Your Excellency, is in this fountain pen.
The fountain pen? How could you possibly be relevant?
This magical pen somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now.
Ah, I swear by a weasel, hair, calligraphy brush, and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad.
Oh, as a forward-thinking man of words, I obviously love my fountain pen. Suck up a super and sumptuous ink, and one work is awash with words at the blink of an eye. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, in which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What does all this talking of sucking up ink have?
And just as it's possible to suck up ink into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word, can this really be?
Well, Menememo-san. When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Objection!
More absurdity. That never happens.
True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. This was quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Menememo-san. So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Oh, you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you'd emptied the poison from it into her glass.
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And then, shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself, you examine the evidence. There would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's cup.
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? So this is how a modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink of my pen runs dry? So what if my pen snaps? Oh, put those down, buddy. I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty on reserve. Did he just attack the judge? What are you doing, mate? You claim I sucked the poison up into my pen. That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again. It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. On whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. Therefore, it all depends upon whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence.
Objection!
Anime-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember.
Did she just quote fucking Miles?
Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
It'd be really funny if Miles was related to Sasato-san. Very well then. Call upon the defense to present the... Give me a second. I mean, the pen is the only thing that makes sense at this point, right?
This is it then. This will be the final piece of the puzzle.
Because it still has... Wait. The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. Just means... It would just be his name, specifically his details on the pen, right? Wait, defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. Yeah, well, it has proof, it still has liquid in it. There's a very small amount of liquid still inside the reservoir.
Take that!
What? Fucking... Oh wait, what is... Alright. Defense can prove by means of this oh, it can prove that it was the item by using the reagent? Oh, we're using this to identify on that. Okay.
Take that!
Also, what is that bottle?
This bottle contains a unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Ah. Yeah, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anyone at all could check for traces of the poison. Huh, a reagent, what? One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Memo-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt.
It just turns out to be wrong. No, you can't. I won't. Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Calm down, man. Damn, look, I go round. This isn't my fault. Trying to hold it at a high head of a civilized nation, I took up arms in the form of the mighty pen. I thought tirelessly in the battlefield and used the name of justice to repair and the yeah, girly.
Sasato-san, with me. I'm here.
Oh my god. That's so funny. The Sasato takedown.
Did I do it right? That was a Sasato takedown, wasn't it? Not quite.
What?
That was a Ryotaro takedown.
Yeah. I love that. Miles is Reiji Mitsurugi. True. She just used her name. Her name, I know, I was just thinking that too, but I guess it's fine.
Instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present. that I had been wrong this entire time. Everybody can go home.
When I saw it there in the lab, the poison. The devil got a hold of me and I decided to do it on a whim. Excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the rest of it out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck some of the poison up, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yeah, that's right. Answer me this, memory man or son. Why did you steal it? For what purpose? Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all, too juicy for a journo like me to pass up.
And why did the English woman end up dead?
I went to that hut intending to quiz her on the situation, that's all, as a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face.
Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism. Really? You must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways, you ignorant plebeian.
What do you call me?
This country, with its pretenses to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacities to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out and crawl back into the cave you came from.
Also, why does she have 2 cups in this picture?
How'd she get 2 different drinks?
That's what I remembered about the deadly poison that happened in my pen. What a terrible tale. In my head, I know I should just get out of there as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journo spirit getting all fired up. I mean, Iris might appreciate what you've done though. Though it's kind of sad that Iris still doesn't know. She's an alcoholic. That makes a lot of sense.
I'd like to ask you something.
Yeah?
We often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what had happened in the courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up, that's what it was.
A cover-up? What do you mean?
I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say. Oh, come on. Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national. Consular jurisdiction should never have come into it. And yet, that puffed-up Englishwoman was going to sail away into the sunset, a free woman. Only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan. No.
What sort of deal?
I've done my research, dug up all the dirt, it was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore the article up. Came under the pressure from the government, you mean? If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done myself?
Let's not forget Memo-san. You committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett.
What?
The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
Yeah, girl. I suppose. I'm like so close to the end. Yeah, we did it. Congratulations, though innocent.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. Just using.
Unbelievable. This is your first experience. Your first experience of the Supreme Court. It's been an excellent performance.
Escape.
Right, sorry. In truth, it reminds me of your cousin's exploits.
Naruhodo, you mean?
The way he handled the trial 9 months ago. Fuck, I did the wrong voice again. and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that they are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land.
I'm a female, but thank you. That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, Ouchie, do you have any final thoughts? Did he say beehive? What's in front of him? Oh, he's gonna cut off all of his hair?
Ouchie?
I, Takatsuchi of the Ouchie clan, have been bested by a callow youth. Not once now, but twice. If there are any shred of my former self left, it has withered and died here today.
Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it?
Silence! Rather than living on in shame. Wait, is he gonna commit seppuku? I will end it all now with this blade. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It is for the true path of Ouchieism.
Ouchieism?
One hopes that the only way in which he will be modeling himself after the witness. Bro, you don't need to do this.
Bring up my top knot. The time is right for farewell.
What is happening?
Hope is lost forever. Takatsuchi.
You don't have to do this, man. Ah, oh, he's just cutting. Okay, he's not committing seppuku, thank God.
No.
I'm proud of you. Now destroy all the kneecaps in your dreams. Weird thing to dream about, but oh well. That's how you know what happens in the future. You read history books from the future. It's worse fate for him, so I'm fine with it. It fucking sparkles. I know. We did it. I'm so close to the end. I'm so close to the end, guys. Okay, we're done. So here's the thing. I have to go to bed early tomorrow night anyway, so I'm thinking we'll just, like, continue on anyway. We're gonna at least continue playing this game until the end of tomorrow, and then I will decide, maybe, what I'm gonna do next. Or maybe I'll keep playing this game, who knows? Court is adjourned. Woo. Fun fact, the series logo on the Wikipedia page for Ace Attorney is wrong. Really. That's kind of funny. 2:32 at 8 a.m. I really enjoyed that case. Like, way more than half of the last game. I'm interested to see what else happens in the future. But I gotta go to bed. Alright. I should change the Wikipedia page logo to a blatantly wrong one so they replace it with the correct logo. You know, that's definitely an option. Big thinking brain. I know, right? Good night, Estanio. See you, Lily. Love you. Thanks for hanging out, peeps. Oh, I love the Japanese rose petal effect. It is very cool, Carmen. Hope rest comes to thee. Thank you. Good stream. Thank you. I'm enjoying it. It's weird now. I was like going to postpone this, playing this game now, but I'm like, for the first trial, I'm having a really good time. Gotta wait till I get to that trial 3 and when I'm starting to get tired. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you'll have an excellent day today and tomorrow, okay? Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow for more The Great Ace Attorney. As I said, I gotta go to bed early tomorrow, so might as well continue playing it. And we can start trial 2. Or thing. I kind of forgot most of the first game. Kind of thinking about buying it. That's good. You should do that. The Phoenix Guys one. Oh, yeah. It comes in like a whole thing. There's like a thingy, and it's the whole name. It's everything in one. Good night, Balthorn. Sleep well. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Take care, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.